all that a teacher needs to start with is the idea of listening to the child. You can teach world history, you can teach mathematics, you can teach physics or science, and there's right and wrong. But in composing, as in free art or free poetry or whatever, there is no real right or wrong. Therefore, to listen to the child is the basic essential. I like to think of it like if you give a child a big wall to paint on, pots of paint and paintbrushes, and you say, okay, this is called orange, this is called yellow, and if you mix the two together, maybe that results. And that's it, go to it. I just love doing that with kids, and I tell you, if I don't work with kids at least once a week, I begin to lose my sense of where I am, and it always grounds me to work with a child and see what is in his or her mind. The oldest instrument, which is the human voice, is the best medium for the child to convey his or her ideas, and for the music teacher to write down. If you want to have free improvisation, that's great. You can have it in a small group, the whole class, or individually. Improvisation is very important, not just in jazz and blues, but also in classical forms. Very important. There comes a time, perhaps, when the child can sing or play on an instrument. Maybe they play a little clarinet, a little violin. My rule of thumb is if they can sing or tap the rhythms or whatever 3 times in a row, then we can write it down. We can say, okay, this is an idea that is firmly in your head. I'll do it the honor of writing it down and take it seriously. Even if it's funny, it can be funny, but serious in the sense of well thought out and somehow inspired. You can use that word. An 8-year-old child can be inspired and maybe not even know it. But the teacher sits there and it produces joy in the teacher, believe me. If you just sit back and say, okay, you want to write a piece about the fact that your brother hurt himself, or the fact that your mother yelled at you, or the fact that you won a game in football, or whatever, or you just want to describe something, a sunny day, a stormy cloud, a battle, or whatever. What comes first? And then just pulling it out of the child, not forcing it into the child. 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 4 is 12. But pulling it out of the child that's already there. And one of the more important to me, I'm a composer-performer, and perhaps that colors my perception, but I firmly think that if you take a child's ideas, we were just talking about inspiring a child, or getting or receiving the inspiration of a child, that eventually a performance is totally valuable and empowering for the child. So if the piece is performed, whether by the child's peers or by professionals or adults or whatever, if there's a performance, it gives the child a sense that, wow, I did something which matters. I did that. Are they all going to become professional composers? No, of course not, but they become artists. You can be a teacher, a construction worker, a banker, whatever, a lawyer, and still be an artist. In fact, why not?